In today's show, we're going to show you how to cut and sew a block from the Go Mix and Match 8-inch cube to create a block for the Quilts of Valor block drive. So welcome to AccuQuilt Live. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Thanks for joining us today. The amazing Emily's in the house. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling patriotic.
Yes, you're looking a little red, white, and blue there. It's kind of fun.
Exactly.
Are you a little chilly here in the Dream Studio?
You know, just a skosh.
Just a little bit.
That's fine.
It's fabulous. All right. Thanks so much for watching with us today. Let's showcase the new projects from our intro video. First up, we have Sue F. Look at this, Emily.
Oh my gosh, how pretty
Look
is
how
that?
fun that is. It looks very similar to our block that we're going to sew today.
Yeah, that quilting is fabulous.
It is. And I love the fact that Sue showed us the back so we could see the quilting. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's great.
Next, we have Wendy H. and strips for days.
Days and days and days.
Doesn't it just look so like part of nature?
It really does.
The forest or,
Yeah, it's
you know,
almost
just
like
somewhere green and beautiful.
the camouflagey, and it has a lot of movement to it with all those different colors.
Yeah, great way to use up your scraps, Wendy. All right, now we have two special photos. I was in AQS Branson last week, and they actually had a Quilt of Valor presentation to two veterans. This is KJ. He served for 15 years in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And his aunt and uncle made his Quilt of Valor.
Oh,
isn't it beautiful?
That is gorgeous.
And then next we have Larry. And Larry, this is the quilt that he received. Larry served in Vietnam. So it was so fun to be at AQS Daytona, or at Daytona, AQS Branson, and to see the presentations there. It was fabulous.
Oh, that's wonderful.
All right, here is my photo of the day. This is the 2023 Quilt of Valor block, and we're going to talk about it today. The question of the day is, have you ever made a Quilt of Valor? So I'm going to tell you, I have not. I have many, many friends who have made lots of presentation quilts for Quilts of Valor, but I have consistently done the block drive, which is what we're going to talk about today. Okay.
How fun.
All right, quilters, today is a huge, big day as we partner with our good friends at Quilts of Valor. So I'm going to give away a huge, big prize. One lucky registered viewer will receive a Go Mix and Match 8-inch cube. I know, who knew? Oh. Be sure and register for future events on the AccuQuilt event page for your chance to win. By registering, you'll receive event emails, and that way you'll never miss an exciting tutorial. The amazing Emily will announce the winner of our registered viewer at the end of today's show, so good luck. All right, quilters, the Go Quilts of Valor block, which is right here, it is a free pattern at AccuQuilt.com, and it is called, okay, I have to say this right, it is called the Split Back Star Block Pattern. I did not name it, Quilts of Valor's did. I know, thank you. I got all the words right. It's a free pattern at the AccuQuilt website, so you can just download the pattern and make the block. Now, to make this block, you will need the Go Mix and Match 8-inch cube. You can make the block with other cubes, but you need the 8-inch cube because the block needs to finish to 12 inches, okay? So just remember that. So all of the blocks this year, they're gonna collect them, and they're going to, Quilts of Valor are gonna turn them into quilts.
Wow.
So for today's project supplies, you need the Go Mix and Match 8-inch cube, fat quarters of red, white, and blue fabric, or totally do what I did, and I just went to my scrap bin. I just found some, in my stash, I just found some fabrics that I loved that worked together. You can make one block, you can make 100 blocks, however many blocks you want to do. Now, before we get started, we have a special guest with us today. Thompson is the Executive Director of the Quilts of Valor Foundation. Lori is a nonprofit manager, business development professional, marketing consultant with over 20 years of experience. Recently, Lori served as the marketing consultant to craft businesses. Her latest project was developing and marketing a membership site for Made with McHarper that offers art lessons online for children. What a great project. Lori is also a long arm quilter who started her own business serving quilters in the Denver area. She is passionate about quilting and is a member of local sewing bee and a quilt guild. Her family members have served in World War II, the Vietnam War, the Marine Corps, the National Guard. Lori calls Aurora, Colorado her home and shares it with her husband and daughter. Now, when she's not quilting, she loves to check out the Rocky Mountains nearby, spend time in her garden, cook, and travel. Welcome, Lori. It's so good to see you.
I'm excited to be here.
Okay, now listen, we have to give full disclosure. We actually saw each other all week last week. Both Lori and I were at AQS Branson, and we had a great time. And thank you so much for inviting me to the presentation of those Quilts of Valor. It was just spectacular.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you for sharing them today.
Yeah, we're excited to partner with you. All right, so Lori, just give us a little background on Quilts of Valor. How did it get started?
Yeah, so our organization got started in 2003. Catherine Roberts is our founder. And at the time, her son was deployed to Iraq. One night, she had a dream about a soldier who was distraught, upset. And in that dream, somebody wrapped a quilt around him and he instantly became comforted. So that dream was the spark for A Quilt of Valor. So Catherine took that idea, went to her community, to her friends and family, enlisted their help, and they started making and awarding the first Quilts of Valor. And it took off from there. It became a grassroots movement, then became a national grassroots movement, and then formalized in 2015 as a nonprofit foundation.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and this year is pretty special for us because it is our 20th anniversary.
Yay.
So, yeah.
Now, you have big plans for your 20th anniversary. What are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are celebrating. We're going to Paducah, Kentucky, September 13th through the 15th.
Okay.
And we're going to have a conference and a reception at the National Quilt Museum. We have a special exhibit. The quilts that have been with the AQS shows will go there in April after the Paducah show, and we get a special reception, and then we have special guests the next 2 days and some fun classes.
So for those of you who are going to AQS Paducah, Quilts of Valor has a special area that they're showcasing their quilts. We saw them in Branson, right? Are those same quilts coming to Paducah? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're going there, make sure you check it out. And then if you're in September looking to be a part of their celebration, check out their website because you can get all the details for Paducah in September. So, Lori, as of today or this year, how many quilts have been presented to veterans?
So we, started tracking our data more formally in 2018, and we estimate since that time we've awarded over 340,000 quilts.
Isn't that amazing to me?
Yeah,
just is amazing. Every time you tell me that number, I think, wow, that's wonderful. And all across the United States, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We do, yeah. We have over 10,000 members. Most of them are in over 600 groups across the U.S. We have representation in every state.
Yes.
And they make an average of 30,000 quilts a year. And we're coming up on our 350,000 quilt award. I think it'll probably be late May, June. We'll see. We'll see how it times out.
So the year before COVID, so 2019, I actually came to Myrtle Beach and did a presentation at the Quilts of Valor conference, and it was just fabulous. It was just so fun to see everybody and to kind of put names and faces and see the projects. It was just amazing. Okay, now, what if you're a quilter and you just want to make one block? Can we do that?
Oh, absolutely. We would love that. The Block of the Year project is a great way for quilters across the board, either our members or people that just want to support us to make a block. And as we all know, many blocks make a great quilt.
Yes.
So, yeah, we certainly encourage anybody to make a block. Last year, we had over 7,000 blocks of the year submitted.
Amazing.
So,
That's just so fabulous to me. Okay, and a couple of things. So what size should the finished block be? It should be 12 and a half, right, to finish to 12?
Yeah, excuse me. Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. And, as you mentioned earlier, we have the pattern on our website. Those instructions will finish to that.
Okay,
So,
good. And then just choose red, white, and blue fabrics. Are there some fabrics they ask you not to use in your block?
um, not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
we tend to use mostly patriotic fabrics, but we
Okay.
find also veterans from different eras sometimes prefer different colors, more camouflage-like colors,
Oh, sure.
or maybe colors that represent their branch of the military. So,
Sure. Okay.
yeah, we're open to that as well. I think for the block drive though, most of the time we get the red, white, and blue, and those are pretty easy to assemble.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So where can our viewers send their blocks? I think we have the address here. We have a little graphic, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can send them to our volunteer group that manages the block drive in South Carolina. We've got a great team, Annie Mixon and her local group. They collect the blocks. The city gives them a space to manage
Fabulous.
this. Yeah, and they bundle them up and send them back out across the U.S. And Annie's been working with Kim DeJoseph, who designed the block, and with Lisa Sutherland, who's helping with some of the design options as well.
Now, behind you, you have your design option of your quilt that you made. Look at
Yeah.
how pretty that is, Emily. Isn't it amazing?
Lovely.
Just fabulous. Wonderful. And then if our viewers go to the website, they can check out like their local Quilts of Valor and they can find their local group.
Yes, excuse me. We have if you go to our Contact Us tab on our website, there is a map that you can go and look for a local group. And if you don't find one, go back to that Contact Us tab and look for our state coordinators. We have volunteers that represent us in each state and help coordinate the activities there, and they can help you find a group or help you start a group. We'd love to have people start a group as well. It's a great community.
That's great. And that website, in case you're looking for our quilters, it'll be on our graphics. It's QOVF, Quilts of Valor Foundation.org. Okay. Well, Lori, thank you so much for joining us today. And when our quilters are using their blocks, what hashtag should they use? Do you know?
Yeah, I would use hashtag QOVF or hashtag QOVF block drive.
Yep. And we have the QOVF split back star block
Perfect.
because that has all the letters in it. It'll be great. All right, dear. Well, I will see you in Paducah. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Great. Thank you, Pam.
Thanks.
I appreciate
Bye-bye.
it. Bye.
It was so fun to hang out with Lori. We saw each other in Branson. Well, I couldn't find her, and then I found her. And then we did some stuff, and I found her again, and we did some more stuff, and I found her again. It was just great to see her. All right, so quilters, in an effort to support the Quilts of Valor Foundation, AccuQuilt is going to make a donation to the Quilts of Valor for every mix and match 8-inch cube sold using this code. You ready? 20, and it's 204 FORQOVF. And it's going to give Quilts of Valor $20, and we're going to give you $20 off an 8-inch cube. This code is active until next Wednesday. So keep in mind, if you're looking to buy a cube today, you can help out Quilts of Valor and get a little discount yourself. Again, 20 FORQOVF. All right.
How cool is that?
I know, isn't that so fun? I'm really excited about it. All right, Emily, before we start cutting, how many people so far have said they've done Quilts of Valor?
Oh my gosh, we've
So
got
many.
So many, yes. They have Donna's group has a presentation every year, and they present 10 to 15 per year themselves. Let's see, Barb says, I've made many Quilts of Valor quilts and belong to a group as well. Let's see if we've got any that are saying numbers.
If you live here in the Omaha area, our local retailer, Celtic Quilter, Judy is a huge Quilts of Valor person.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see all these great people who are donating to this awesome cause.
I think it's fabulous. All right, so let's talk about our block. Now, this is the split back star block that they're using this year in Quilts of Valor. You can make it with the 8-inch cube. And I'm gonna hold it down here for a second and talk about this. Now, typically quilters, when we talk about the cube system, it's based on a 4-patch system, okay? So 1 and 2, 2 across and 2 down. If I use the 8-inch cube, these are 4-inch finished blocks. So 4 and 4 is 8, 4 and 4 is 8. But Quilts of Valor needs 12-inch finished blocks. So this is going to be a 3x3 grid instead of a 2x2 grid. Quilters ask us all the time, like, I have the 8-inch cube, can I make other size blocks? And the answer is sure, you can make 12-inch blocks or 18-inch blocks or 16, there we go, 16-inch blocks.
And
you could probably make an 18 if I thought about it.
And actually, speaking of, Linda from New Hampshire actually has a perfect question to kind of go along with this.
Okay.
She's wondering if she could do the block with a 6-inch cube and make it a 4-patch.
Yes, you could, but this is the design they're collecting this year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, if you wanted to make 12-inch blocks and make your own Quilt of Valor, absolutely, you could do that. So you would just double the size.
Sure.
So Quilt of Valor, this is their pattern of this year. And then I just translated it into AccuQuilt friendly blocks, okay?
Perfect.
All right, so now it's 4 and 4 and 4 is 12, 4 and 4 and 4 is 12.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? All right, so let's talk about the shapes that we're gonna use here in the cube. So we'll start here in the corners. This is the square, this is shape number 1. These are half square triangles, my all-time favorite shape. Big half square triangles, which are shape number 3. All right, Emily, what do we call this shape right here?
Flying geese.
Flying geese. Every cube has flying geese. This is shape number 4, which are quarter square triangles. These are small half square triangles. And then I did this tricky thing, Emily. I put a rectangle right here
Oh, yeah.
so that it equals the size of the block. All right?
Okay.
So you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different dies from your 8-inch cube. Don't forget, if you're not familiar with our cube system, we have lots of videos on how to use it and how to cut with it. So check them out on our Facebook page. You can watch them on our YouTube channel. You can watch them on our website, okay? All right, so let's start. We're gonna start by making flying geese. So flying geese has 2 shapes. It has quarter square triangles and small half square triangles.
Right.
All right, and I've already pre-cut my fabric, but honestly, Emily, here, I'm gonna show you how I pulled this out. This was kind of fun. So, like, here's some of my scrap solids,
Oh, goodness. Look at all
and that's where I found it. I was like, oh, look, there's some fabric here. I'm sure some of you quilters have bags like this that just have scrap solids.
Yeah.
Okay? You could use a pattern. It would be fun to do it like in stars or polka dots or
Yeah. That's
whatever. I just thought it'd be fun to just find them in my scraps, okay? So this is the quarter square triangle die. There's actually 2 blades here that cut it into quarters. Look how we've notched the edges, took off the dog ears. So from this seam to this seam is 1/4 inch. Now, when we sew 1/4 inch or quarter square triangles together, we're gonna sew the short side together first, press them, and then sew the long side together, okay? But we're making flying geese today, so we're gonna do it completely different. You wanna make sure you have that lengthwise grain nice and tight, look. That's what you want as it goes through the cutter. And check it all ways. Don't just say, oh, kind of looks like it might be the lengthwise grain. Okay, and then this is the half square triangles that go around that quarter square triangle. And these are small half square triangles. This is probably our most used shape, right? Because it allows other shapes to become new shapes like flying geese. So I just followed, I measured from here to here. I just rough cut a strip of fabric. I actually had one that was pretty close to this. And I'm gonna just go back and forth just 4 times. We call this fan folding. All right. Now, Emily, should they be worried about this little tail of fabric?
absolutely not.
They should not. Why?
Because it's only going to cut where there's a die and a mat.
Yeah, the blade in the mat.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm gonna move this very hot iron. Thank you, Justin, for doing that for me. Now, our 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9-inch cubes will fit through all of our cutters, including the Go Me. The 10 and 12 will fit through the Go and the Go Big. I'm gonna use my Go Big cutter today, and it's actually wide enough that I can cut 2 dies through in one pass. I just wanna make sure that each die has its own cutting mat.
Exactly.
Okay? Give it a little love, slide that mat so it doesn't stick.
You know, I say that every time.
Every time, it doesn't matter where you are, if you're at
No,
home.
I am completely alone, and I go give it some love. Slide, don't let.
Slide, don't lift. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter, Oakley, and she says that. I can hear her when she's helping me. She's like, slide, don't lift. I'm like, there you go, Oaks. All right. So now I'm gonna lay out my flying geese. Now, I'm just gonna need 2 blues and 2 reds. So I'm gonna save my other pieces for another block that I'm gonna do. And this is really a great chain piecing block,
Oh yeah.
because you can just start sewing chain piece for days. Okay, so I'm gonna lay my pieces out, and then I'm gonna add these half square triangles to the outside here.
Fun. Ooh, and I'm gonna check too, because I think we had some more questions coming.
All right, ask us questions.
Okay, yes. So Miss Deb is wondering, do we know if the quilts only go to veterans, or are they ever given to families of like a fallen soldier?
So that is a great question. I know the answer. Let me tell you real quick. I'm going to add these half square triangles to the side. They're going to line up perfectly because we've cut off the dog ears.
Right.
Okay, so the answer is they are only given to veterans, not families of fallen soldiers. And that's just how their policy is.
Sure.
So, yeah, but no, that's a great question.
Yeah. Well, and I think they're, the purpose is that there's such a piece of comfort to, kind of wrap these.
Oh, yes. And that's literally what they do. They take the quilts and they wrap them in it.
Yeah. Oh.
And they have a little, like a little verse that they talk about and say before they do their presentation. It's just amazing.
Wow.
And it's amazing because sometimes like family members have made those Quilts of Valor, and then other times just members of the community.
Sure.
I mean, it's just a great way to bind your community. Okay, so look, I'm just chain piecing for days.
Look at you go.
All right, do we have more questions?
Absolutely. We have, so for the quilt block drive,
Yes.
if you're using a 6-inch cube, I would get 4 blocks that finish to 12 inches if I put them together as a 4-patch with this. So I think that's kind of similar to the question that we had before, where because of the way that it's set up, right?
So let me talk about that for a minute. Because the 6-inch cube, if you make it on a 3x3 grid, is going to make a 9-inch block.
Right.
So if you wanted to make a 6-inch finished block, put 4 of them together to make a 12-inch finished block using this design, you would need to use your 4-inch cube.
Oh.
I know, math on a Wednesday.
I'm so glad you're the one doing the math, because I sure.
Well, it was funny because I had to think about it for a hot minute when I was trying to figure out how to do this.
Right.
Okay, so here I made my little flying geese, and I'm gonna give them a little press. Here is my pro tip. When I get my flying geese, I'm gonna press them out to that half square triangle, because now when I go to lay this piece down, if I can get it off my stack, it's gonna line up perfectly, and then it's gonna give you that 1/4-inch seam from the top.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So genius.
Yeah, so that's like my my little pro tip today. And today I'm just going to show you how fast I can talk and sew a block.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a great question, Emily.
And if kind of as you're cutting, can we kind of, revisit just like the numbers, which numbers in the cube you're using as you're cutting?
Yes. So to make flying geese, every cube has flying geese. You need shape number 4, which are 1/4 square triangles. That's how I remember, because it's shape number 4. and then shape number 5, which are the small half square triangles.
Great. Okay.
And remember, the cube, all the shapes are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, and more folks are donating. So let's.
Oh, this makes me so happy, quilters.
This is wonderful. Okay, so Cindy M says she has 7 Quilts of Valor ready to be donated.
Oh my gosh, Cindy, that's fabulous.
That is wonderful.
7 is a magical amount there. Holy smokes.
Now, another one of our viewers says, our sewing group had a Quilt of Valor ceremony a few weeks ago. They awarded 4 quilts that day. What an incredible ceremony it was. We have several more ready to give.
Oh, I'm at AQS Branson sitting in the back. I don't even know these beautiful men, and I'm just sobbing, just crying.
Oh,
It was just such a powerful experience.
right.
Okay.
And we have several folks saying, you know, not yet, but it's on their bucket list, been wanting to for years.
Start with a block. Start with a block and donate your blocks.
Exactly.
So it was interesting. Lori told me, I don't know if you heard, but there's a group in South Carolina that takes all the blocks
yeah.
and then sews them together into quilt tops. And the city that they live in, the city donated the site for them to have their setup. I mean,
Kidding.
yeah.
How cool is that?
All right, so here we go, and now I'm going to press. I'm going to press to the outside to these little half square triangles. And look, now see I have that little space on the top so I can continue sewing my block. All right.
Have those perfect points.
All right, Emily, what else do we have over there?
Well, Miss Peggy hasn't made one yet, but she did make an Americana quilt for her family room.
Oh, how fun.
That does sound like fun. I want to see a picture of that one. Vicki has made several Quilts of Valor per year. Actually, Martha says she's working on one as we speak.
Excellent. There you
Love
go.
that, Martha. And then, yep, a few more, Julie, Carolyn, and Linda, I'll say not yet, but they want to.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, Barbara, I have not made a full quilt, but I've contributed blocks to a quilting group that collected them at a local county fair.
Excellent.
That's a nice way to do that.
All right, so now we're going to cut our next shape. So we're going to cut these large half square triangles. Again, there's 2 on the die board. I'm going to find that lengthwise grain. We need 4 for our block. Okay, so remember, you can always cut up to 6 layers of cotton fabric in one pass. So you could do multiple blocks if you wanted to. And then we need shape number 8, which are rectangles. And again, we're going to find that lengthwise grain.
Perfect. Now, Kathy has a really great question.
Okay.
Do the fabrics have to be solid red, white, and blue?
No. You could have them patterned. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Do you know if they allow gold?
If you go to the website, the QOVF.org, and go under the block drive, they have all the rules.
Right, all the specifications.
Yes, all the rules and how big they need to be and all of that.
Excellent.
Give it some love, slide, don't lift. That's what we do here. Emily and I were talking about how in Nebraska at the moment, allergy season is so upon us.
Man, I know it.
Crazy.
Nuts.
All right, so now that I have my flying geese sewn, then I'm going to add this rectangle to the bottom, just right here.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. And again, chain piecing for days. We should see, I think we should make a challenge, like
How many can
our viewers should make, we should see how many we can get, because if you put our hashtag on there, the Quilts of Valor hashtag, we can track that. We can see how many people post with it.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm trying to find more examples here. Oh my gosh, so Steve says that they haven't even kept count of how many they've done.
See, Steve, you're fabulous.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, you just sit and sew them.
Right,
I just think that's what a great way to just spend, an hour a week or something, just making Quilts of Valor blocks.
Exactly, and like
Because
knowing
the
they're going
need
to
is
such a
always
good
more
place.
than the quilts that they have.
Exactly. Oh, Connie says she did a quilt in honor of her stepfather. They didn't go through Quilts of Valor, but they just, they gave it directly to him.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that was so sweet. They made it for him in less than 4 weeks
Wow.
so that he could have it, with him while he was sick. So that's
Oh, what a beautiful sentiment.
That's a beautiful
I just think that there's something about a quilt, right, that just makes you feel loved and comforted.
exactly that kind of little bit of weight, that extra weight on you while you're just snuggling, and feels so, yeah, very comforting. Let's see, and then we have, Connie says that it wasn't a Quilt of Valor quilt, but she made her husband a patriotic quilt for his military retirement.
Oh, how fun is that? I have heard of military families doing that, and I think that that is just fabulous.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
Okay. All right, quilters, so now we have our little rectangles that are sewn to the bottom of our flying geese. And now we're just going to press towards the rectangle. Okay, just right there. And don't forget, quilters, our videos live on our Facebook page, our YouTube channels, our website platform. You can always go back and rewatch the show. So if you're thinking, oh gosh, where do I send my blocks? You can just come back and watch the show and see our little graphic.
Right. Oh, and we have a good question reminder from Miss Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
She says, do you line up fabric to the outside edge of the die or the direction of the inside light gray, aka the blades?
Oh yeah, so you're gonna lay your fabric. We're gonna lay our fabric. We'll cut these. These are our squares for the center. We're gonna lay them just right over the blade. We're not gonna line it up with the die board. It's gonna waste fabric otherwise. So we're just gonna lay it right over here. In fact, let's do that and cut some.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it looks like we're getting some more questions kind of flowing in about deadlines and,
Oh, okay.
size. So I would say, I believe that there should be a link in the comments
Yeah.
to the Quilts of Valor Foundation website. That would be definitely a great place to, to find out all of those details, deadlines, due dates,
Yes.
all of those.
How to send them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just think it'd be a great opportunity for like quilt guilds to do, or maybe church groups that are sewing. Okay. All right. So the question. So let's talk next. Now we're going to sew We've made our flying geese blocks. Now we're going to sew our half square triangles together. Okay. And I'm going to do that. So Emily can answer this question. So what AccuQuilt products should a quilter buy first? If you're just watching us and you're thinking, what is this AccuQuilt thing?
Right.
What are you gonna buy first?
Okay, so if it were me and I did this exact same thing, I started out with a Ready, Set, Go. And the reason being is because you're gonna receive a cutter. You're going to receive an 8-inch cube, which, gives you just so many fabulous block ideas.
Right.
And the 2.5-inch, 2-inch finished strip cutter for jelly rolls and binding and all that wonderful stuff. And right now, it's actually part of our March Cutter Madness for Go
March
Cutters.
Machine Madness.
March Machine Madness. So now is a fabulous time to pick up your Ready, Set, Go. Or if you already have a cutter, like we mentioned earlier, that 8-inch cube is going to be, give a donation to not only Quilts of Valor, but, you'll save a little bit yourself as well.
Save a little $20 yourself. Yes, and during March Machine Madness, all of our cutters ship free to the contiguous U.S. There's a little discount on them. You might want to check it out.
Yeah.
That sale ends tomorrow. Is that right, Brock? March Machine Madness, or does it end today? Okay. Check it out on our website.
Yep, valid till March 29th at 11:59.
Oh, March 29th is
That's tonight.
Tonight.
Yes. Definitely take advantage today, because if you've been looking to upgrade, now's a fabulous time.
Yes. All right, so now it's time. Look how fast we sewed those pieces.
Look at
all that. full disclosure, I cut and sewed my block in like 10 minutes, okay? But it's so much more fun to hang out with you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna lay out my block, and keep in mind, quilters, that half of it's blue, half of it's red, so you wanna make sure that your pieces aren't, that they lay the correct way,
Sure.
okay? And this is the other thing you wanna pay attention to. You want those flying geese to face, the points to face in,
Right.
okay? I know I almost sewed one together wrong, and I was like, wait. I can do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay it out here on my little wool mat.
It's like your mini design board right now.
I know, just love it. I have been sewing a lot. Since it is March Machine Madness, there was also some other kind of March Madness going on. And I spent much of the weekend sitting and sewing, and it was lovely. Okay, so look.
Look at that.
Okay, so now that my pieces are all sewn, I'm gonna sew my rows together. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just press them in opposite directions so that they can nest, okay? All right, so while I'm doing this, Emily, tell us, do we have any more questions? Tell us how many people are sewing blocks, because I feel like so many of you are making Quilts of Valor.
Oh my gosh, yes, we've got so many great comments about the making Quilts of Valor. Let's see, so, Tammy just presented 2 of them, and she said it was such a moving event when that happened.
Congratulations, Tammy, that's wonderful.
Seriously. Let's see, Peggy has, Lori thinks everybody should be making a Quilts of Valor.
I'm in agreement with that.
Yes, I think that's a great idea, Lori. I think, yes, that'd be such a meaningful project, or even just contributing blocks to your, to that amazing.
The block drive.
The block drive, exactly. That'd be a perfect way to do that.
I would love, I'm gonna have to reach out to Lori and ask her. Oh, okay, hey, quilters, while I'm sewing this, let me show you. When I'm sewing the flying geese to that center block, I'm gonna have the flying geese block be on top so I can see where that seam is.
Right.
And make sure I'm getting a perfect point. I should have Lori send us some pictures of what it looks like at the block drive.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Right, to see all of the blocks and because when I was in Myrtle Beach, I saw some pictures from a few years ago,
Sure.
and it was an old school library.
Wow.
And it was an old elementary school, and it was tiny, and the library is where they cut and sewed the blocks, and it was fabulous because like all the shelves had red, white, and blue fabric that was already cut, and
Wow.
they had a go big, and they had dies, and they could cut shapes, and they had Ziploc bags that everything went in. It was such a process. It was amazing.
Wow.
Okay, all right, so now I'm gonna keep going here on my rows.
Excellent. Let's see. Oh, Lois has made a Quilt of Valor. Their guild is currently doing this block to donate for the year, so that's
Yay!
exciting to know. And then Patricia actually does the long arming of the Quilts of Valor made by the ladies at her church, and she says she enjoys doing that very much.
So one of our experts, Marianne Fontana, that's one of the things she does for her local Quilts of Valor group, is if you create a Quilts of Valor, she will long arm it for her.
Oh, how cool is
So
that?
you might want to check your local Quilts of Valor folks and see, if there's somebody that can help you if you don't have a long arm or you're not really sure how to do that.
Exactly.
I have this feeling I'm sewing without thread. Oh, almost.
Almost.
Hold please while I
Yeah.
fix my thread.
Let's just keep talking about
Yeah, no, so you should totally check that out. And my bobbin is making funnies, so I'm gonna fix it.
Wow.
I feel like this happens more often than not. That often on a Wednesday, even though I check it before our show,
Ooh, we have a cube question.
Okay, ask our cube question because we know the answer.
From Miss Donna, if you want to purchase a cube and make 12-inch finished blocks, what is the best set?
The set is the 8-inch cube. Because just a 9-patch will make it into a 12-inch block.
Right?
But a 4-inch cube will do it, and a 6-inch cube will do it. The thing about the cubes is that you can just add pieces to it to make it those sizes.
Exactly.
And that's the beautiful part of the cube. So for example, I could use my 6-inch cube and my 8-inch cube and my 12-inch cube and make 12-inch blocks. So if you just want to make 12-inch blocks, get you the 12-inch cube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just making sure I can sew.
Okay, perfect.
I can.
Miss Noreen has the best question. She says, why are strip dies laid out parallel to the edge of the die, but other shapes are at an angle? Shouldn't the strips be made to conquer speed bumps just like other dies?
Oh, so that's a great question. Emily, do you know the answer to this?
Well, strips, obviously you want them to be perfectly straight. So if they kind of went wonky on the die, they would, or went, at a diagonal on the die, because the width of the strip dies are made to fit like through the actual cutter themselves. And so you'd kind of have them, at least in my mind, I would think that they would be a little bit wonky.
Right. So you typically cut, as a quilter, strips at the lengthwise grain, or with the fabric, not lengthwise grain. And so you're going to cut that whole width of fabric.
Right.
And that's why they're laid out like that. Look at this. And I just noticed that my bobbin is out, but it's okay because I can fix this.
And then Camille's wondering how long that 8-inch cube promotion is going. Let me check.
1 week. Till next Wednesday.
That's right, till next Wednesday.
Yep. So if you buy an 8-inch cube between now and next Wednesday, AccuQuilt's going to donate $20 to Quilts of Valor, and we're going to give you $20 off an 8-inch cube. So it's a win for all the people.
It really is. And then Linda's wondering, what's the biggest cube to use with my Go?
Your Go can have all the cubes.
All the cubes.
Yeah. So choose whichever one you want. Okay, so now I'm going to press these in opposite directions so that they will nest. Okay. And notice I'm just giving a little press. I'm not ironing. There's a difference.
Yes.
Ironing is what you do to shirts with steam. We never press with steam. Never, ever, ever.
Oh my gosh, Pam, Donna says her quilt has presented over 500 Quilts of Valor.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. Congratulations. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience that must have been.
I mean, really, you deserve
So
a
her
round of
guild
applause.
or her herself?
Her guild, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, over 500. That's just mind-blowing. Well done.
Wow. Hey, will you tell us which guild it is?
Yeah, please. I would love
to reach out to your guild.
Yes, Miss Donna, please let us know in the comments, and we would love to reach out.
Okay. See, this is why we do this.
Oh, look at that.
I know. Okay. So now since I pressed in opposite directions, my rows are going to nest. All right, Emily, we're almost done. We have about 2 more minutes of sewing.
Nothing better than a nesting.
I know.
Oh, yeah, and then so I heard yesterday, and I think this is so cool, that we now have clappers on our website.
We do have clappers on the website.
I feel like, do we have one handy? We could
do
maybe...
we have one, guys? We had one yesterday.
I wonder if we could
Kenyon's
show
going to see if he can find us one.
Yes, I'd love to show our viewers how nice it
And
helps.
clappers help your seams stay flat.
And we have, was it an 8 and a 12-inch clapper,
We do have
right?
an 8 and a 12-inch clapper.
I think that's
And they're made of solid oak by a local craftsman here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, look at that.
I know, I love it when we support the little guy. If we don't have one, it's okay. You can check them out on the website. We just had the one yesterday, and I think we had to put it back on it somewhere so it didn't get lost before next week.
Exactly. Well, that is, I believe, on our website now.
Yes.
So definitely, y'all, if you're looking, if you're in the market for a clapper, we've got those 2 sizes available now. And once again, it's an opportunity to support a local business. So
Yes, yes.
how exciting.
I know, and they're really fun. And they say AccuQuilt on them and the whole shebang.
Whole 9 yards.
Okay, I feel like, Emily, the last 3 times I've used this sewing machine, I've had to re-thread it every single time. Even though I make sure before the show there's like thread and a bobbin and all the things.
Maybe there's a little quilting gremlin that's messing.
I think so. I think it just is mad because when we do our quilt along, which we'll talk about, I bring my own machine in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we have any more questions? I'm just impressed with the guild that made 500.
I know. My
Bless you.
mind is absolutely blown by this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. So we talked about color. 9-inch will this work with 9-inch cubes?
Yep. And March Machine Madness.
Yep, March Machine Madness. Let's see. Is there a particular size suggestion for the finished quilt?
Oh,
They were to make
that is
one?
on the Quilts of Valor website. Yes, there are minimums.
Okay.
There are minimum requirements and maximum requirements, and yes, that's a really good question. Look at how pretty our block is turning out. All right, I'm going to sew this last seam while I still have thread and a bobbin. Oh man.
Noreen has a lovely comment here. Her son-in-law was actually injured in Afghanistan, and when he returned to the medical center for surgery, he was given a quilt. He says to this day he was truly happy to receive it, and he's vowed to treasure it the rest of his life.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Years ago here at AccuQuilt, we had a Quilts of Valor presentation here in our office.
Yeah.
And I want to say we did like 8
Wow.
with our local Quilts of Valor chapter.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It's just great how many, giving groups there are out there that are just willing to, use their time and efforts to make a difference in people's lives like this.
Okay, look at that. Despite having to rework the thread several times, here is our finished block, Carol Holt. Okay.
Gorgeous.
Now I'm going to press it flat, and then they're ready to be mailed to Quilts of Valor. All right. Again, these blocks would be a perfect service project for your quilt guild or your sewing group. If you need more information about Quilts of Valor, you can check out their website, www.QOVF. Make sure you have the F for the foundation.org. And be sure and share your finished blocks with us on all of our social media platforms. Just use that hashtag AQSews, and then send them off to Quilts of Valor to be part of the presentation quilt. Okay, so Emily, we should set a goal for ourselves, you and I.
Okay.
So how many, so we have to do it by October 1st, because the last 3 months of the year are crazy. So how many blocks do you think between us we could sew? Be realistic.
I want to shoot for maybe 8 or 10, do you think?
Each?
Yeah.
Okay, so should we make it a round number, because 8 is a funny number?
That's true.
I mean, it's a great number.
Do you think we could do 10 by October?
We can do 10 by October.
I think we can do that. That's realistic.
I already have 2 sewn, so I feel like I'm already
you're
ahead.
ahead of me.
I'm already ahead. I'll share one with you.
Oh,
So
okay.
we each have 9. Okay. And I love that idea. So if you want to be part of the Pam and Emily challenge, your challenge is to make 10 Quilts of Valor blocks with the split back star block pattern. 10 of them by October 1st.
We can do this.
Yeah, and share them on social media and we'll count. It'll be fun.
Yes. And maybe should we do them all different, do you think? Or should we do them all the same fabrics?
I think we should do them in different fabrics, because I have all sorts of red, white, and blue fabric.
Me too. Okay, perfect. It's been decided.
So I'm going to share one with Emily, so we already have one done. Yay, us. Okay, on that happy note, Emily's going to announce the winner of an 8-inch cube. We hardly ever give away cubes. This is a fun day.
Right? And this is perfect because you'll be able to join our challenge as soon as you receive it.
Listen, if you win the 8-inch cube, you have to be part of our challenge.
Exactly.
10 Quilts of Valor blocks by October 1st.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. If I could get a drum roll, please, for our lucky winner today. It's Sally Joe D from Vista, California. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're going to love it, Sally Joe. All right, quilters, don't forget to check out the AccuQuilt website for some great deals. Don't forget the Quilts of Valor Mix and Match Cube Block we have going on, and March Machine Madness. This month's die to try is the Go Palm die. It is only available till Friday or the end of the month. Or was. Supplies last. Get yours today. Hey, listen, on behalf of everyone here in the Dream Studio and Offsite. So Offsite, we have Katie and Lauren and Morgan. And here in the Dream Studio, we have Justin and Brock and Greg and, of course, the amazing Emily. I'm Hem Heller. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. To learn more about your quilting craft, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out the events page on the AccuQuilt website for more details on upcoming shows. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, visit our blog for exclusive tutorials filled with tips and tricks. And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Day, April 4th at 12 noon Central Time as we launch the April Die to Try. Be sure and join us for next week's AccuQuilt Live as we start our newest AQS AccuQuilt Along. We're making the Go Scrappy Star Log Cabin Quilt. It's a free pattern at AccuQuilt.com. Everything starts at 12 noon Central Time. Be sure and register for all of our events for the chance to win prizes.